Hi, so we have finally reached the about 80% waypoint of my poetry producing journey. We have officially hit research number 3, which is low risk poetry to teach reading. And this author, Shirley Hicks, decided to teach poetry as a conversation, which I really, really like because I've come to realize that I am having conversations with myself, and those are ending up to be my poetry examples. I am in the process of finalizing my last poem that is going to be posted on Twitter because I want to be held accountable that I completed this process and I came out with an amazing poem. But besides that, we're going to go to research number 3, like I said, by Shirley Hicks. So Shirley Hicks explains that teaching poetry needs to be taught as a conversation. She chose the examples of Out by Robert Frost and Tomorrow within Macbeth, a Shakespearean play. So those are conversations within ourselves, and it's a journey within ourselves that just so happen to be read by another human being, which is really cool because it makes me realize that poetry isn't as scary as it is. It's just my inner thoughts on paper. Maybe it'll rhyme, maybe it'll evoke some emotion from someone else, but at the end of the day, it's something that I get to produce and I get to dictate. So that's really cool. A larger conversation is a larger poem. A sonnet, something that exceeds 14 plus lines. It has to be a constant conversation between you and maybe this idea and theory that you're exposing to the world. So how do we extend this conversation outside of the classroom? We can extend the conversation by connecting our personal lives or the personal lives of individuals near us. So the first ever poems, I should say, that I connected to my personal life was actually reading The Poet X within my class for young adult literature. Excuse me, I was tripping on my words. And how do we connect with the poetry? You have to feel something. The author has to evoke an emotion, and that emotion not only teaches us tone, it teaches us style and meaning and all those things, but it also shows us that the conversation is, yes, between the author and their inner self, but us as the reader as well. And a really cool part that Hicks ends on within research number 3, is the interdisciplinary ideas of poetry. So I was introduced to interdisciplinary teaching through LLA 440, and it pretty much is the idea of teaching something through another means that may not be popularized. And Hicks decided to connect singing poetry to teaching and understanding how to read poetry. Here's where I'm going to connect my journey of singing poetry. I think I want to connect 2 of my favorite rappers and maybe maybe listen to their music and see if I can evoke a poem out of it. So I'll be listening to Tupac and Lauryn Hill, but also I have a poem on the side that I've already started to finalize as something that's going to be my final piece. So it looks like I'll be having 3 poems now that I have a new way of being inspired to extend the conversation outside of the classroom. I'll be posting in the slides the 2 songs, one from Pac, one from Lauryn Hill, that I chose for my inspiration of moving poetry outside the classroom. The author also used an example of poetry within film, Dead Poets Society, and that was pretty much it for this one. It was really, really short and simple, and I'm honestly really excited to just listen to some Lauryn Hill on my vinyl. So, see you later.